Welcome to Calculator Workshop number 3, Graphing Scatter Plots. Example 1 says graph these data in an appropriate window. So step 1, press the Stat button and enter. In list 1, we're going to type in the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Using the right arrow, go to list 2 and type in the numbers 78, enter, 65, enter, 51, enter, 47, enter, 32, enter, and 29, enter. Next, adjust your viewing window. So press the button that says Window. For our X-min, we want to choose a value that's lower than the lowest X value. So I'm going to start with 0. For the X-max, we want to choose a value that's higher than the highest X value. So look in list 1, the highest value is 6. So I'm going to choose 7. For the X scale, 1 is appropriate because we're only counting to 7. Let's go to the Y minimum. Choose a Y min that's lower than the lowest Y. So I chose 20. And choose a Y max that's higher than the highest. I chose 80. For the scale, choose something appropriate. 10 works well. So I'm going to choose 10. Okay, in order to see a scatter plot, you must turn on your stat plots. To do that, type second, y equals, enter, enter. This will turn on plot 1. It's automatically a scatter plot. It's automatically going to use list 1 and 2, and everything else is fine. So we're going to stay with what's here. To see graph, just type the button that says graph. And this is the graph of your data. This scatter plot reveals a strong negative linear association between the variables x and y. That is because the graph is decreasing as you move from left to right. In future workshops, we're going to learn how to generate coefficients, correlation coefficients, and regression equations, and more. Okay, let's go back to the packet and look at example 2. It says graph both data sets on the same grid in different colors and different marks. Now, not all calculators have color, but all calculators have different marks. So if you don't have a color calculator, you could just do different marks. We're going to go back to stat enter. So press stat, enter, and you will notice that f of x is actually the same data points that were under y in the previous problem. So we don't really need to change list 2. But g of x is all we'll add here. So let's go to the right and type in the values for g of x. So 19, enter, 20, enter, 38, enter, 42, enter, 55, enter, 64, enter. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is turn on the stat plots so that we can see the data graphed in list 3. So go to second y equal. We're going to go down to plot 2. You can use the down arrow or type 2. And then you will type enter. And it should have the on highlighted. Now for the type, we still want to use scatter plot. But for list 2, here where it says Y list 2, we don't want list 2, we want list 3. So highlight this and type second 3 for list 3. Go down again where it says mark and choose a different one. And I will choose the plus sign. So highlight the plus sign and type enter. We need to adjust our window to accommodate this new data. So go to your window, choose a Y value and an X value that will fit all the data. And you know what? I've already got that one though in my calculator. So I'm already adjusted to that. We've turned on the stat plots. We're ready to graph. And there we have our two scatter plots. So you can see the first one is still there, and then this new one is here. My lowest Y value is cut off, so I do need to adjust the window. Let's go back and take that 20, and let's move that up, or move it back. I'm going to go down and make that a 10. And that last point will show up better. So let's hit graph. And there you have it. So these points look better now. So we have our two sets of data. The second scatter plot reveals a strong positive linear association. You can see the graph is rising from left to right. If you hit the trace button, it will show you actual data points here at the bottom of your screen. Press the right arrows and X arrows to go from one to the other. Pressing up or down will take you to the other plot, and then you could press the right arrows and the left arrows to see the points that you have graphed. It does look that like the data points are coming together right around the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So right in there, they're close together. Okay, let's look at example 3. Now in this one, we're going to learn to clear all lists. And this is an important skill to learn because students typically make errors here. They tend to delete columns out of their tables. And so one way to be careful about that is just not overuse the delete button. Type stat, enter, and let's go over to list 1. Highlight the list 1 and type clear, and then enter. Highlight the list 2's name at the top, type clear, enter. And then highlight list 3, type clear, enter. Never hit delete when you are highlighting a list name, or it will actually delete the entire column out of your calculator. You can restore columns by typing second plus 7 all. You arrow right to all 1, 2. So if you ever need it, those keystrokes are there for you. All right, we're going to enter the list 1 data, which is 1 through 5. So type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll enter the list 2 data, $23.54, $19.45, $31.07, $25.76, $28.44. Once you've typed in your data, let's turn on the stat plots for list 1, second Y equal, enter, enter. Now it's already on from the prior problem, so we're not really changing anything there. Go to your second plot, second Y equal 2. We do not want this one on, so we're going to turn this one back off. So highlight the word off and type enter. Adjust your window, so press the window button. Now this time the lowest Y is 0. I'm going to use 6 for the highest, or the lowest X is 0 and the highest X is 6. So let's highlight that and put 6. Our Y min, I'm using 15. Remember, there are many correct windows as long as your data points fall within the number range that you put. It is a sufficient window. The scale, I'm going to choose 5 for my scale. So 15 to 35, counting by 5s. All right, if you'll type graph, you will see the data. This data is very scattered. There is a very weak correlation between weeks and earnings. So it may be rising just slightly, but it's kind of hard to tell because the data points are very scattered. Okay, example number 4. Graph these data and analyze the points using trace. Okay, we only have 4 data points this time, but let's try something new. Type stat enter, and we will go back to list 1 and type in 1 through, type the first 4 numbers, I should say, 0. And notice I'm typing over the numbers that were already here, which is another way to type data in. You don't have to clear a column to do data entry. Since I don't need this 5 anymore, I'm going to make sure it's highlighted and then press delete. And this is really the only time you want to press delete in a table, is if you're down in the data itself. Never press delete at the top. Okay, let's go to the right one. Go back up to the top and type in your data for Y. So 10, enter, 12, enter, 7, enter, 9, enter, and then type delete because we don't want that last data point. Okay, next let's adjust the window. So press window, and let's choose a Y min lower than the, or an X min lower than the lowest X. So notice I'm choosing a -5. Choose an X max bigger than the largest X. I'm choosing 3. For the scale, I'm choosing 1 because those are small numbers. For the Y min, 6 is lower than the lowest X, and 13 is higher than the highest, excuse me, that's Y, I keep saying them backwards, higher than the highest Y. Since I'm only going from 6 to 13, a scale of 1 is sufficient. Okay, type graph. And then you will see the 4 data points on the graph. Now, as you type trace, it's going to show you the data points. And when you type trace, notice it went directly to the one on the y-axis. That's because that was the first one in the list that you put. So it's got to go in the order in which they are listed in your table. So type right 1 and it'll go to the second one in your table. Right another one will be the third one in your table. And then right again will be the fourth one in your table. There is a weak linear association between the variables x and y. So as you can see, entering data is quick and easy. Be sure to practice. If you haven't read your helpful hints, do so. And until we meet again, continue to practice.